Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to the witnesses, and particularly Mr. Hale. We went through that audit review subcommittee, which at 8 o'clock in the morning every week for a while, and you did great work helping us with that. So congratulations on a great career. Mr. Secretary, your budget in terms of shipbuilding, is going to keep the Sea Power Committee busy this year. But again, obviously a lot of hard work and thought has been put into it, and again, we look forward to working with Secretary Mabus and others in that process. The investment in the SSBN design account of $1.2 billion, I think again follows up all of the strategic review studies, nuclear posture review, QDR, et cetera, about how important the replacement of the Ohio program is to our national defense. And that, number one, is a very good move in terms of trying to bring down the cost, because the more design we can put on requirements and to get that, and they've made great progress going from $7 billion to $5 billion a copy. Again, this budget, I think, shows it's serious, A, about the importance of the program, and B, about trying to continue that process of cost reduction. But obviously, looking out, we're going to hit a point when we have to start building these, that the strain on the shipbuilding account is going to be a bulge, and something's got to give here in terms of whether we can continue to maintain a 300-ship Navy and obviously meet this critical requirement. Secretary Mabus was quoted the other day about the fact that we need to start having a national conversation about how we fund this program. It is a strategic issue in terms of our national defense. The triad post-SALT II is going to show that sea-based nuclear deterrence is most survivable and probably going to be the heaviest leg of the triad. And I guess the question is how do we get that conversation out of the realm of bar talk and start really having it, serious in terms of this committee and the Pentagon in terms of whether, again, we fund it like we did, missile defense and sort of outside of the Navy's account, or whether we have to look at, restructuring, again, the respective branches' budgets. Again, we've got good work from CRS that shows it's less than 1% of DOD's overall budget. But again, I think it's an issue that 2021, when we start buying these things, seems maybe a long way away. It's not. We've got to start really focusing on this issue if we're going to protect the shipbuilding plan.
First, thank you, Congressman, for all of your time on this, and I know how integral you've been and how important your leadership's been to this. As to your question, how do you develop a national conversation? I suspect, to start with, that the budget that we are presenting this week and the QDR that was brought up this week is going to generate some considerable interest and dialogue as we go along, as it should. It'll come out of this committee. It'll come out of the Budget Committee. It'll be out of Appropriations. Everybody will have a hand at giving their opinion, as well as all the think tanks and all the writers and everybody who has something to say about this. Then I think the military organizations, military associations, those groups always have a perspective on this, and I suspect they will also weigh in on their perspective to your point, not just this budget, but this budget being kind of the platform that can be used for that larger debate, which you're talking about, which you're right, needs to be had, as to how does it integrate overall into our larger security system and our future. Economics, all that go into that as well. So I think your point is right. I would welcome that. I think we're willing partners in that. I think surely we have manifested that in every way, and we participate in every forum we're invited to. I know that's not a good answer.
No, well, it is actually, because I think it gives us some direction as we approach markup down the road that, we really need to start incorporating some real language here so that this issue gets fleshed out. And again, outside of just a sort of informal process, but we need to focus on this because it's going to be a big issue for the Navy's shipbuilding plan, and we want to balance all that. So I appreciate that answer. And I yield back.